Alright, I'm not sure if you can hear me right now, but good morning to you if you can hear me. This is not the correct title. Um, right now we are currently typing up my thumbnail, or not typing up the title of a video and changing everything because it's all from my last stream right now. So if you are watching this, the thumbnail is nowhere near correct. There's a tornado warning in Texas DFW. That's all. And my thumbnail will not work because it's over 2 God, I can't speak. There's a tornado warning like in western Texas. Yeah, the thumbnail that I have right now is not correct, so file's bigger than 2 megabytes. Is this file not bigger? There we go. Okay. Now I have the right thumbnail. Hello, Phantom. Okay, so I think I have everything situated right now. Right now we have a tornado warning ongoing with 98L, which probably was a tropical depression at one point. Not really a hot take, but here's the velocity. This is west of Freer in Texas. Yeah, if you got the notification, if you're subscribed and have the notification, that is totally wrong. I forgot to change the thumbnail and the title for my last stream. So that is why it was like that, Smith, if you were wondering. Oh yeah. Let me zoom back in here. To the current situation. We also have flash flooding ongoing with the system. The main tornado risk is going to exist with these cells out in here, kind of behind the main band. We have storms lining up near Heberin. Uh, we have in Duval County. We have near Freer, Seven Sisters. These are going to be the storms go aloft, and we see some rotation aloft with these. These further south ones have rotation aloft, but it's not quite reaching the surface yet. But those will be storms to watch that will potentially get tornado warned at some point. Let me send this out on Twitter here. Trying to copy video URL. Okay, but yeah, right now we're gonna be looking at this stuff in Texas right now. Here's the reflectivity of this tornado warning. The environment with this 1,000 mixed-layer cape, 4701 kilometer storm relative velocity. So it's not in the best environment for tornadic activity, but the environment is there. Looks like this newest scan has a little bit of a stronger velocity couplet, at least outbounds. Inbounds are not so strong. But this threat will probably exist throughout the morning and afternoon hours, as these bands of storms kind of start to move in. This is probably in the upper tropical storm or tropical depression strength, maybe even lower in tropical storm strength now. Just the way the banding has been with the system has been pretty crazy. Something from Geo on Twitter. I would hope 98L gets a very long and well done post analysis for the final report. This is remarkable, and I would honestly agree with him. I could switch my screen and show you his tweet that he made. Gio's a better friend of mine. We talk a good amount. Here's the tweet that he made. And you can see it has a pretty good structure. This is off a different radar than the radar site that I currently have. Has a pretty good structure with it. You can see the good banding. Really, you have a center of low here, and then you have the banding around it. Pretty good structure for this tropical system. Now, going back to GR2 Analyst, let's go down to the storms again. Here's a little bit of a loop, so you can see this is probably, yeah, this has been ongoing for a little bit now. Tornado warning just got shrunk a little while ago, but we can see there's more storms starting to develop on the southern edge of this as well. These are going to provide potential for some brief tornadoes over the next few hours, given the environment here, which I will pull up on Mesoscale Analysis here from the Storm Prediction Center's page. It's going to give me a second here. They do not, the Storm Prediction Center surprisingly does not have a risk for this area, which is quite interesting. The surface low is going to enhance the severe potential there. But let's go look into the overall environment here. Let's switch over to Google Chrome again. So we currently have a solid environment for severe weather potential across, or tornado potential across the Texas area. We have a plume of mixed layer Cape upwards of 1,500 to 2,500 joules per kilogram advecting northward from the Gulf of Mexico. We have not really steep lapse rates aloft at all. The lapse rates are a little bit meager, which is what you're expecting with a system like this. Thermodynamic profiles look good enough to support some severe potential. Looking into your wind shear, deep layer shear is rather meager, but your 0 to 1 kilometer shear is pretty strong across the area, which will enhance the severe threat. Also looking in here, 0 to 1 kilometer helicity is pretty strong, especially a little bit northeast of where these storms are right now. Looking at the photographs, we can see some of them are a little bit more enlarged, especially the ones generally out in this area, which is where our tornado activity is occurring right now. We can also look at the HRRR kind of for some future guidance references here. We'll go look at the 14Z HRRR and kind of look at this here. So here we go. Here's our system right now. You can see some severe potential will exist with these cells if we look at the environment, kind of where they're situated. Pretty saturated profile is pretty common for this. Photograph is enlarged in the low levels, but really doesn't have much shear above that. So it's going to kind of cause it to curve in on itself. More supercells, mini supercells are likely to develop later this afternoon. These will generally track into an environment still kind of favorable for some stronger storms. It's just going to depend kind of where they set up. But it looks like Mexico could see a tornado threat as well with this. And this is probably one of the better soundings I've seen for tornado activity. A more enlarged low-level photograph that's present there. We can see these bands kind of move across the area here. This is pretty good. Western Texas around 23 Zulu time. A little bit better instability in the levels. We can see these bands kind of move across the area. Flooding could also be a concern. Very much could be a concern. Let's go look at the 12Z HRRR and kind of look at the rain reflectivity loop, not rain loop. And we can see flooding could be a concern with some of these storms as they train over the same area. Some showers and storms are again possible tomorrow, hit and miss. But we can see, let's look at the QPF. So we currently, there's a lot of heavy rainfall that's going to be likely with these storms. Some areas may locally pick up 5+ inches of rain, given kind of the way this is evolving. So we'll go to the end of the run here as it loads. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But you can see rain amounts, if you get in one of these bands, 1 to 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches are possible. 6 to 7 would be more local. Going back out to GR2 now. Still have those flash flood warnings and tornado warnings ongoing. We currently still have some rotation with this storm. It does appear to be weakening though. Generally across the region, it does appear to be weakening a little bit. My internet is a bit slow right now, so it will kind of cause things to be a bit slower generally. Thanks DFW for tweeting that out. I'm not sure if you're in here, but we only have 720p quality. Let me see if I can up the quality of the stream. That would probably be I don't know how. Video. Oh, I can't because it's already streaming. Okay, whoops. Well, we'll be stuck at 720 quality. Talk about the severe chance of the crashing front over Texas. When? When? DFW. I don't see any severe risk, at least on the SBC side. Any time. I mean, I could look at that later when there's not a tornado warning ongoing. So we still have tornado warning ongoing. I'm gonna pull up the other radar in South Texas, though. I guess the radar closer to the Del Rio area. We're gonna pull that one up. Because right now these general storms are gonna be generally tracking more into that area eventually. So it's probably best if we do eventually have that. I'm gonna put my radar into SRV mode, storm motion for morning. Not very strong rotation right now. We did have stronger rotation earlier, but it's generally been hit and miss with the stronger bits of rotation there. I'm looking at the Laughlin AFB site if my GR2 would open. Yeah, there are some pretty strong winds in here. Velocities reading 30 to 40 knots at times, so we probably have winds of 30 to 40 at the surface at times. Stronger rotation is in some of these bands as well. I don't know why I said is looking. Next weekend? I don't know why I would look that far out, DFW, right now. I mean, I guess we could probably take a look at that in a little bit, because I think that tornado warning is going to expire soon. But yeah, currently we still have these tropical, like, mini supercells still tracking into the area here. There's also a chance for severe weather today across the Carolinas and into the southeast United States. There's a slight risk driven by a tornado risk, 2% tornado risk, 15 wind and 15 hail. We're generally expecting severe wind and hail are going to be possible, scattered instances of those, and a brief tornado could also potentially occur. Because you're desperate. DFW moment. I mean, I haven't seen severe weather in a long time because I was home when there was like a 3-4 day stretch of severe weather back at home. I wasn't there. But yeah, it looks like we are looks like these storms further south are still I can't talk. Still have stronger rotation. Goodness gracious, I can't speak right now. Yeah, looking in the middle level, some of these storms are pretty good looking rotation-wise. I went a little too high. So, what am I doing right now? Yeah, especially this one here. This might be the next one to get tornado warned if it can keep up. Looks like this one kind of gusted out a little bit. This one also has a better environment, a little bit more storm relative velocity and general instability as well with this one. These further south ones have a lot more instability and a little bit more storm relative velocity. We can see all these backed wind barbs, southeast wind barbs, are going to enhance the tornado potential as well today. Briefly. I guess I could look at the that supposed severe weather event that you were talking about, DFW, that is 138 hours out. Let's look at it real quickly. I'm gonna look at that. We'll look at it on stream. Why not? Let's change it over. Okay. So it looks like we have dew points into the 60s and 70s. We'll take a sounding right here. We'll see if this is anything. What in the blue hell is that? What? What? This sounding is trash. Like, total trash. Looks like a tropical tornado sounding, except it's capped in the low levels. Bruh. I guess we could try to find a sounding that's better. Maybe it's earlier in the day. I don't know. You have like barely any instability. This is funny. Is it earlier in the day, DFW? Oh, I guess it is earlier in the day. Let's see if the sounding is any better than that trash that we had earlier. Okay. So this sounding could give you maybe like a downburst. There's a lot of dry air toward the surface, which is enhancing your decay value shown here. Very steep low level lapse rates, which is common for downburst soundings. Looks like the hodograph is pretty upper level loaded. Which would cause maybe some stronger storms. I don't really see anything big happening there. I don't know. Maybe the Euro has something better. I have tricked Andrew. What? DFW. Bruh. You did not just do that. Are you? You jack rabbit. Okay, we're going back to the screen. We are not gonna talk about that. That is garbage. Like straight garbage. Why DFW? Why? Hey, it's like the leading you to the wrong storm on 4/27/21 or whatever that day was. Lock it day, 4/23/21. It's gonna make DFW really mad. Watch it in the chat. 5 seconds. He's gonna be a little mad about that one. DFW just hasn't said anything. He's just that mad. The sad emoji. But yeah, getting back in the topic, we still have that tornado warning in effect. I gotta see when this expires. Looks like this expires at 10:45, so it's up for another 15 minutes. Not sure if it'll stay up for that long. We'll see. Flash flooding is a concern. 4 to 8 inches of rain has already fallen, with an additional 2+ inches likely for that warning. The second warning here, 4 to 7 additional 2+ possible. 2 to 4 additional 3+ possible. And 2 to 5 additional +3. So flash flooding is going to be a major concern across portions of Texas, South Texas today. We have a slight risk of excessive flooding across that area today with that system. Also looks like we have excessive rain outlooks for further out as well. Looks like portions of Mexico could see extreme flooding as well. Up to 10 inches of rain possible there. For Texas, additional amounts of 1 to locally 4+ inches. I can't speak. 4+ inches locally, but 1 to 3 more widespread. Yeah, we could go into review because I was on vacation for a while. So once this tornado warning kind of expires, we can kind of go back and see and kind of talk about what happened really earlier in August this year, which really hasn't been much. And there it is, the tornado warning expired. So, and then if the weather gets really quiet, I could change the stream to me playing Minecraft if it gets that bad. But kind of what happened, really haven't had much that's happened August. A couple days ago, we had a tornado in Utah. What? Landspout video posted to social media showed a landspout tornado? What? Okay. That's nice. Didn't know about that one. But yeah, we can see a pretty quiet severe weather pattern. There's been severe weather. It's just been not really any big events. This was a solid event across the northern plains, it looks like. And then northeast, widespread severe event there. This is a solid event for the Midwest, and then this is one of the days that my house had severe weather. I wasn't there again. House had severe weather. Wasn't there. Was actually this day. There was a random tornado too. That happened. But August and really like late July haven't really been that active. And if we're looking at the tornadoes, which we can go tornadoes of 2022 on the Wikipedia site. If we look at the tornadoes that have happened this year, there really haven't been many in July and August. July 39 tornadoes. August 6. There was a significant tornado on August 2nd. That was probably our last big tornado event, which was 2 weeks ago. An EF2 in West Virginia and portions of Pennsylvania was recorded. Tracked for 2 miles and was on the ground for 4 minutes, so pretty short-lived tornado. There was also an EF2 in New York on the 28th. A barn was significantly damaged. Tornado tracked for 19 minutes and 10 miles. There was another significant tornado on the 18th. I actually, was it? No, that wasn't the event. I went live. It was a rather longer tracking, or no, it wasn't long tracked at all. 9 minutes. Another Siggy. We really haven't had any big time severe weather events for a while though. Kind of looking at this, June was the last time we had a more active pattern. We had a few significant events in June. And really this year, we've kind of been lacking events recently in August and July. The last enhanced was a few days back, July 24th, which is almost a month now. Our last moderate was June 15th, I believe. No, July 5th. Yeah, July 5th, the derecho across South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota that turned skies green. Forgot about that. This day started off as a day 3 slight. Cool. Went to a day 2 marginal, or slight, then enhanced. Day 1 enhanced. Then day 1 moderate. Some areas got double upgraded, I think. I don't know. Stayed moderate and then enhanced, shifted into Illinois. Pretty meh day. There really hasn't been for at least my area there hasn't really been bigger events for a bit. We could check though out in Texas again. Looks like heavy rain's gonna be the main threat right now. So there's some transient embedded circulations, but none of them can really get going. Looks like there are some better middle level circulations with the southern batch here, which doesn't totally surprise me. Our previously tornado warned storm still has a decent middle level meso, but really none of these storms can really take off. This one had some good echo tops for a while, but started fading. It's actually re-strengthened a little bit. Maybe this one will pull a surprise and go tornado warned again soon. But yeah, thank you for everybody who's tuning in. If you have any questions, again, put them in the chat. I can answer them. So we're kind of in a quiet state right now. Looks like there's gonna be a pretty good severe event in the UK, or not UK, in Europe and also in South America. We can look at that right now, as there's not really much to talk about severe weather-wise in the United States. At least, oh wait, we could talk about the Carolinas later today. That's something we probably should talk about. So, let's go in and talk about the Carolinas for later today, as that's something we probably should talk about. We'll talk about North Carolina, Virginia, and a little bit of South Carolina that sticks up on this map here. So here we go. Here's future reflectivity. This is right now. Looks like showers and storms are going to start to fire in the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia and North Carolina around 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. These will probably initially favor a large hail threat because of the longer straight photographs, along with some amounts of instability. As we move further south, more storms will start to pop out near Fayetteville. These could produce a tornado or two, never mind, not tornadoes. Looks like maybe these storms would probably have the better chance of severe weather, more shear in this area in central North Carolina, and a bit more instability. Looks like the newest HRRR run does not have as significant of a tornado threat for later today as some of the runs did a couple days ago. Looks like flooding may be a concern as well, as multiple rounds of storms could create some amounts of flooding as well. Check South Dakota soundings. Okay. They're not going to be very good. At least for really anything, probably. Oh, looks like we have a few stronger storms that go into South Dakota tonight. Here's southern North Dakota. Let's see here. Looks like this is going to be favorable for large hail. Pretty elongated photograph here throughout the profile. Maybe some damaging winds too because of the drier air closer to the surface, leading to decay upwards of 900 joules per kilogram. Overall, just a marginal sounding though. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I wouldn't say pretty good. It's okay. This is what you call bad. That is straight awful. But yeah, let's look at the South America now. There's going to be kind of an interesting severe weather event over there in the next few days, so why don't we check it out? I gotta look at a different... Okay, so it's going to be 60 hours out from this time frame, so let's go. Bam. So, 18Z, looks like this is going to be the main focal zone. It's probably going to be in here, along that surface low. We have dew points getting upwards into the 20 to 22 degrees Celsius range, and soundings are pretty favorable for large hail, damaging winds, and even tornadoes across South America with this upcoming event. Looks like 2,000 mixed layer Cape widespread. More southern. That's a more North America sounding. South America soundings have the photographs kind of backwards because it's in the southern hemisphere. This is a sounding that would support tornadoes in the southern hemisphere very much. We have negative 130 helicity in the lower levels and creating a more enlarged photograph. Hail would be a possibility too, with the steeper lapse rates, moderate amounts of instability shown here, deep layer shear being pretty solid, and a straight photograph in the middle and upper levels. Moving over into the Europe areas in Europe, there's going to be a severe threat Wednesday. In Europe, really Italy, we're going to have a plume of instability that's going to advect onshore and portions of I believe I don't remember which country this is. Maybe that's France. I don't think it's France, but I gotta look up my European countries. I kind of forgot them. Oh, that is France. So we're gonna have instability advect into France and then portions of Italy, creating a localized severe threat along the coast there. Looks like This is not a very good sounding, but I'm pretty sure the soundings over southern France are a bit better. Trying to get a sounding over the mainland. And yeah, this is going to favor tornadoes across portions of France. We have a pretty enlarged low-level photograph here, shown here. Rather long and straight in the upper levels, which is going to support hail potential. Moderate thermodynamic profile shown here. Solid lapse rates. So really a threat for all hazards is going to be possible if this were to actually happen. Looks like pretty strong instability does start to advect into Italy, but I'm not sure if that cap would be eroded yet. Yeah, it is. Not really a big tornado threat, though. This is toward the evening as instability starts to wane. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a threat the next day as well. We can check that. Yeah, it looks like a lot more instability gets advected on land the next day in Italy. Pretty decent severe weather sounding. Maybe some sort of MCS could evolve out of that. Let's see here, looking at the precip rate. Yeah, not really much that fires, maybe because of that lower level capping inversion that is shown. We can look at that and see if there's a capping inversion still. Yeah, that may be why not much is happening. You want me to look in Kansas? Okay. And guys, DFW Jackson Action Jackson wants me to look in Kansas, so we can look in Kansas. We'll take a sounding over McCook. That is god awful. Thanks, Action Jackson, for suggesting the sounding to take. Not very good. There's not enough action over there, Jackson. Still not very good. That severe threat looks okay. Probably some wind and hail that'll blow further east. DFW, do you realize there are no storms that fire further east, at least on the HRRR? I can go further west. I can hit you with Kobe, Kansas. Oh, that's a little bit better. Not really, I guess. You want further east? You want by Manhattan where there's no storms that fire? Let's see. Nice photograph. Thanks, DFW, for suggesting the sounding. Let's see. Oh, those are some nice photographs. Nice. That'd be pretty nice, except we have a pretty big lower level inversion right here. Kind of ruins the whole sounding. Ruins the vibes. Screw your low level inversion. You're ruining the chases out in the plains. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't get better. That's not very good. Yeah, who doesn't hate the cap, DFW? Here's the overall severe risk, though, as I was mentioning earlier. We had a slight risk today. Here's the slight 2 tor, 15 wind, 15 hail. Also have intended wind and hail probabilities as well in the plains. Might get a marginal added in Texas. We'll have to see. Let me look at my other screen here to see if Texas is still moving along. Looks like there is a rotation increasing near Seven Sisters with that supercell that was previously tornado warned, so that might go tornado warned again. I will be back in a little bit though. So in the meantime, I will play some music and also play the radar loop. So yeah, I'll leave you with that. I gotta find it. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. Um, let's see what is happening. So, okay, that is a quite the strong circulation. We have northwest of Seven Sisters. That thing might be ready to go produce another try to produce another NATO. Newest scan does not suggest that, but looks like this is the supercell that's gonna be the one to watch right now as I burp. Um, is DFW still in the stream? There's 4 people watching now? What in the heck? Hello, weather watcher. How are you doing, man? What? What are you doing, DFW? Somebody with 2.6k subs joined the stream? Dang. Thanks. Go to Eagle Pass radar and look at the circulation near Ooh, thanks for telling me about that. That is pretty significant. Let's go switch to the Eagle Pass radar right now. That is a pretty strong circulation. Oh, wait, my streaming device does not realize I have it open. It can be quite stupid sometimes. Let me, That is quite the circulation, though. um, Let me switch it. Let me see if it'll actually switch over right now. If it won't, I'll just manually switch over to that radar because sometimes my streaming device can be a little bit dumb. Andrew, it's frozen. It is? Well, now it's not frozen, DFW. You can probably see it now. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. So, OMG, it's McCallum. Weather breakdowns is here. But here's the circulation. It's west of Gardendale. This is something that looks like it's kind of spun up over the last few scans. And yeah, that's been a pretty good circulation for a little bit now. Going aloft, it's definitely there. So this might end up getting tornado warned at some point as well. Current environment in that general area looks like it has stronger amounts of storm relative velocity, but around the same amount of instability as other places do. So generally looking at the environment in that area, I'm looking at it in a different screen. Instability is a little bit lower across that area. Not to say it is super low, but it's lower than some of the other areas. Like, not as much instability. Still a decent amount, a little bit better shear though, I think, generally across that area, looks like. I'm under slight risk of severe weather later in North Carolina. Yeah, I see that there's a slight risk in North Carolina for later today. We talked about that earlier, actually. In the stream, we talked about that earlier. You should cover North Carolina, South Carolina later. Yeah, I'll potentially cover that, McCallum. It's just gonna depend on if I'm still alive at that point. But yeah, that is something interesting that uh we may cover later on. I was thinking about maybe switching over to Minecraft a little bit later if the Texas severe weather threat like stops. Switching over to Minecraft, playing that until the North Carolina South Carolina threat starts up. But yeah, I'm back on the Corpus Christi radar. There still is a supercells northwest of Seven Sisters there. There's also another storm that's near Las Latonas, I think is how you pronounce that. I'm not particularly sure. But there is some rotation with some of these storms as well. Really throughout the board, which will be a little bit interesting to see how that evolves. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for me to do things, I will, or questions, read them out again. Um, so right now we still have that circulation. It looks like that might actually be like maybe part of the center circulation as well, but it looks like there's a pretty saturated environment in that area, 75 and 72. Still have the circulation. There's a little bit of a loop. It's been tracking along for a little bit now in LaSalle County there. Moving northeast or northwest, not northeast. That would be a little bit different direction. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, list them off. Um, Currently just tracking this isolated severe event in Texas. Um, let's see if I can actually switch over to the Corpus Christi radar now. There we go. So we're on the Corpus Christi radar now. So let's look at the Corpus Christi radar. We have an interesting supercell structure here near Rialatos. That's going to be kind of one to watch there. Looks like this is weekly rotating right here too. A little shower. Starting to weekly rotate. We have this supercell from earlier that's still weekly rotating, but really starting to die off. This thing's going to be the next storm that could have an opportunity to produce a tornado near Hamptonville. If it can wrap up a little bit. Middle level meso is pretty good. Um, but yeah, we're kind of just in a little bit of I don't know how to say this, but a little bit of a lull weather-wise right now. Uh, there is a decent storm there, a couple decent storms in Texas, but nothing's really eye-jumping right now. I'd say the one that's off the Laughlin AFB radar, the one near Eagle Pass, is probably the strongest one, but even then, it's not really doing too great. It's running into more stable air. Hecotops are not doing so well anymore, so I think that storm is probably on its way out. You can see though the general spiraling. This is a pretty solid system here. Uh, Tropical system. Probably was tropical depression, maybe tropical storm strength, but definitely depression strength. Um, Probably still is right now depression strength. Lots of solid velocity winds in there, and a pretty good spin to it. circulation is now into Mexico, wrapping along the bands. Pretty classic for a tropical cyclone. We have the tornado threat along the easternmost quadrant of the storm, which is very common as well. But yeah, here's a kind of a wide view. We have the severe threat, potential severe threat ongoing in southwest Texas, and then we have the circulation that is out in central Mexico, or not central Mexico, like eastern Mexico there, near the border. Here's the storm that I've been watching over the past few minutes there by Corpus Christi. It's still chugging along as well. So anybody who is new joining here, if you guys again have questions, please ask them. I'll be happy to answer them. Looks like this storm is actually starting to tighten up a little bit north of Hebronville. Looks like this thing is starting to tighten up and may try and give it a shot at producing. We'll have to see. Environment for this storm isn't too bad, so we'll have to see. But yeah, this is in western Texas, west of Corpus Christi right now, or southwest Texas, west of Corpus Christi. I'm gonna check Twitter to see if there's anything about this. There's 19 train cars that have been derailed in Ohio. Nice. But yeah, this is the storm that I'm really watching now near Rio Lotos. I think is how you pronounce that. Southwest of San Diego, Texas. This is the southern batch of the line right now. This area has a little bit more instability to work with, which is why it's starting to spin up. Looks like the newest scan, the rotation's a little bit weaker on that. Might be building a circulation a little bit further south. These transient supercells typically cycle a lot. I see a couple of forming on radar scope. Yep. Definitely is a couplet starting to form there, with the circulation that we have, or watching right now. But yeah. Saw spectrum width just spiked on my end of that storm. Did it spike? Let's see. Oh yeah, that is a pretty good spectrum width drop now. We have this is indicating that there's a stronger area of rotation. Looks like it is 20 knots or so right now, which is decent. It's a pretty quick spectrum width drop there. Looks like that northern one still has it there. Weak, but there. This one's starting to drop a little bit too on the spectrum width. But yeah, this is probably the storm to really watch right now. Spectrum width is starting to drop, starting to get a better circulation. Prob severe is at 12% right now as well. So we're kind of waiting for those new radar scans to load in. Looks like there's still a flash flood warning down here. Flash flooding will probably be the main threat with this system, but there'll still be a threat for maybe a brief tornado or two over the next few hours here. What I will say is that I'm thinking that this threat will start to dissipate a little bit more as we get into the next few hours here. We still have kind of this overall banding here of the storm. Looks like the new scan looks like we have circulation still trying to develop here. Kind of southwest of Rialtos. Some storm popping up very west in Virginia. That could be the start of the Virginia event that we've been talking about, the Carolina event. Really not Virginia event, but Carolina event talked about earlier. Looks like there is storms that are popping up in West Virginia right now, south and West Virginia. Currently loading up my Gear 2 to kind of get a look at that. And yeah, there are storms firing up in West Carolina, West Virginia, North Carolina area right now. Also looks like I'll take a look at the environment over there as well. We'll switch the screen over to the environment too. So here's the overall environment currently across North Carolina, kind of the Mid-Atlantic region. You're looking at mixed layer Cape, which is a measure of instability in the atmosphere. We have rather weak values right now, but these values are expected to strengthen. This is the general area where the storms are starting to fire. These will generally move off to the southeast throughout the day. In 2 hours, we're expecting instability to strengthen and the cap to weaken further. 4 hours, we're expecting more storms to kind of fire up, and then around 6 hours, we're expecting probably the strongest instability of the day, firing up 1,000 to 2,000 joules per kilogram of mixed layer Cape. Yeah, there is a lot of cap right now. It's because your pseudo warm front hasn't really lifted northward yet. It's currently in the process of lifting, so the instability is trying to get up there. Looking at deep layer shear right now, it is rather strong, so these storms will probably start to organize once the instability gets a little bit better. Downdraft Cape is rather high, so any storms that do form will possibly bring a threat of damaging wind gusts. Lapse rates look to be pretty meager, but your lower level lapse rates are a bit more organized, so you're probably going to have some decent storms later today. 4 hours, we can see those middle level asteroids really start to get higher, 7 to 8 Celsius per kilometer, which will really enhance it. Looking at your 0 to 1 kilometer shear, which will be probably enhance your tornado threat more. It's currently 10 to 15 knots, which isn't too strong. Looking at 0 to 1 kilometer helicity, it's not very strong right now, but around later this afternoon, we're expecting values of 50 to 100 meters per second, which will enhance the potential for maybe a brief tornado or two. Be a more local risk as well. Looking more into this on College of DuPage. As it loads, we'll kind of look a little bit more into this here on COD in the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll first kind of take a look at 500 millibar. There's going to be a 500 millibar system that's going to kind of move into the region here. We're looking at the 15Z wraparound. We can see there's going to be a 500 millibar system that kind of moves gradually into the region. This will enhance the severe threat. Storms are going to form on the leading edge of it and kind of push eastward. A build of 30 to 40 knots of middle level flow is expected. Beneath that, you're also expecting Cape in the mixed layer region to be 1,000 to maybe 2,000 joules per kilogram, especially in South Carolina. Looking into South Carolina, they're taking a sounding there, and we'll also take one in more like north central North Carolina here. Here is the sounding out of South Carolina. This is going to the very long and straight photograph here will support hail potential. Alright, that's a little bit big of a circle. But the long and straight photograph here is going to prevent hail potential. Along with that, you'll see maybe some damaging wind gusts, but hail looks to be possible. Sufficient amount of instability for it. Decent thermodynamic profile. Deep layer shear is decent as well. Now, further north, it looks like hail again is going to be a threat. A little bit higher deep layer shear. Stability is pretty similar. A little bit weaker, though. And then we still have strong amounts of lapse rates in the low levels is what I was trying to say. Couldn't quite spit it out. Spectrum width just went up. Southern Texas. Oh, not surprising. We'll switch the screen back to Southern Texas here, as that storm is starting to strengthen a little bit. A little bit of higher rotational values with that one. And yeah, spectrum width looks like it did go up a little bit higher. Rotation's kind of getting a little bit stronger, maybe. But it's a little... Looks like there's also storms a little bit further north, too, that are rotating some as well. Now, I feel like we've gone into everything, so right now, as we wait for storms to fire, we'll play some Minecraft. Why not? Yeah, we'll kind of close the weather stuff for now, as we're kind of waiting for the event to kick off a little bit bigger. Um, kind of chill out. If anything big happens, we can switch over to it. There's a special weather statement for this rotating storm. Tropical funnels are gonna be possible, along with winds in excess of 30 mile per hour. This thing doesn't seem to think that my Minecraft has popped up yet, so that's nice. We're now waiting for Minecraft to load up. It's the game for Paito. Okay, let's give her a spin. Yeah, only one person watching now, because we're not covering weather anymore. At least not right now. Um, Honestly, I could restart this and just play Minecraft. So thank you guys for watching the severe weather aspect of today. I'll be going live playing Minecraft in a little bit. Um, Pretty good. Rate y'all.